Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Dear friends, today I am going to tell you one technique which will definitely help you to become fluent English speaker. Dear friends, we want to speak in English, and whenever we are trying to speak in English or whenever we are trying to express ourselves in English, at that time there is one problem, and this problem is at initial stage when we are a beginner and we are newly using this language. At that time we face a problem, and that problem is vocabulary. When we have to say something, at that time we don't get right word to say the right thing, and we get stuck while speaking. And this is not your problem, this is the problem of every English speaker. Then what should we do to avoid this problem, or how we can improve our vocabulary, how we can work on our vocabulary? Because for speaking any language, we require vocabulary. Vocabulary plays very important role for expressing our thoughts, and today I am going to tell you one technique which will definitely help you to improve your vocabulary. Then you may have heard so many videos, you may have watched so many videos about how to improve your vocabulary. And what do they say? They say you that you have to read a newspaper, you have to read some book, and by reading books, reading newspapers, you have to write down the difficult words, you have to write down the words which you don't know, or the words of the meaning of the words which you don't know. You have to write down those words, and you have to find out the meanings of those words from dictionary, and then you have to by heart them. You have to recite the words, you have to recite the words every day. They say you recite 10 words every day, someone says you recite 20 words every day, or someone says just you recite one word every day. But my dear friends, reciting words will not help you to improve your vocabulary, and by hearting words will not help you to improve your vocabulary. Then how we can improve our vocabulary? Suppose we are reading a book, and while reading a book there is some word which is unfamiliar to you, or you don't know the meaning of that word. Then what you have to do? You have to write down that word, and you have to find out the meaning of that word. Means you should have curiosity, you should be curious to know the meaning of that word. If you are curious to know words which are unfamiliar, then you have to use dictionary and find out the meaning of that word. And next time, yes, you can read it, but you need not to recite it, or you need not to by heart it. Then again we are reading a book, and next time that words come in your reading and you don't remember the meaning of that word, again you have to find out, or you have to watch the meaning of that word in a dictionary, and you have to write down the meaning of that word. If you will do this 2-3 times, then this word will come to your mind third time, or next time whenever you are reading that word or you have to use that word, you will know the meaning of that word, or that word become your active word, that will become your active vocabulary. So dear friends, for speaking any language, vocabulary is important, and you can improve your vocabulary in this way. Just you have to read a book, and while reading a book, whichever new word is there or whichever unfamiliar word is there, you have to look the meaning of that word from a dictionary. I do the same thing. I am reading a newspaper, I am reading a book, and whenever there is a new word, first of all I try to guess the meaning of that word. And if I am not able to guess the meaning of that word, then I use a dictionary and I figure out the meaning of that word, and then I leave it. Next time whenever I am reading, and if the same word come in my reading, then I can guess the meaning of that word. And if that word comes 2-3 times in my reading and I have figured out its meaning from a dictionary, then after that, that word is recited to me, or that word becomes my active vocabulary. And dear friends, whenever you are speaking, you need not to use fancy vocabulary, or you need not to use big words or very hard words, difficult words. Your focus should be on your speaking. Your focus should be expressing whatever you have to say, whatever you have to express. You should express it in simple language. You should use simple sentences for saying whatever you have to say. You should use simple words to say whatever you have to say. And if you will do this, then definitely it will help you to improve your vocabulary. You need not to give extra time to recite vocabulary or to by heart vocabulary. That will not help you to improve your vocabulary. Then what you have to do? Dear friends, you have to consume English. If you will consume English, then it will help you to improve your vocabulary. And for that, you have to read books. You have to read newspapers. If you will read newspapers, then if you are reading newspaper, then the news in the newspaper are whatever is happening in the current era, whatever is happening in our country, whatever is happening in our city, or whatever is happening in the society, or whatever is happening at international level, that news comes in the newspaper. And if you are reading that news, then you come to know the words also, the words used in that news, or the sentences which are used in that news. Your subconscious mind will pick up those words, pick up those sentences, and those sentences and those words will become your active vocabulary. So my dear friends, don't worry about vocabulary. What you have to do? You have to use the simple technique. You should be curious to know the meaning of new word, or you should be curious to know the meaning of unfamiliar word, and you have to use dictionary to know the meaning. And if that word comes 2-3 times in your reading and you have figured out the meaning of that word 2-3 times, then that word will get by hearted to you, or you will by heart that word. You don't have to recite that words. And I am using this technique, and this technique is helping me a lot. And if you also will use this technique, then definitely this technique will help you to improve your vocabulary. Dear friends, thank you very much for watching my video. If you like this video, like it, share it, comment on it, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe it. Thanks a lot.